Charlotte Goff moved into the former Bakersfield site from London and has since kept a keen eye on plans to develop land at the back of her new home. Ms Goff is one of the key opponents to plans for 200 new houses on the land south of Lower Rainham Road.
My bedroom backs onto the field at the back, and I've seen owls, I've seen bats. My daughter loves the bats, the birds. We've had such an influx. Since this development's finished, we've had more birds coming back into the garden, back into the area and into the space. But yeah, just overpopulation, no GP surgeries. It took me a year after moving here to get into a GP.
She objects on these key grounds. Privacy. Houses are still backing on and overlooking her property, which the original plans didn't have, and they were assured this wouldn't happen. Roads infrastructure will not cope with this added development. She asks Medway Council planners to travel along Lower Rainham Road at peak time to see how bad it is already. Nature. She says it's incredibly sad and awful to be destroying what's actually a beautiful piece of land and the habitat of the wildlife in this field. She says she didn't even get a response as to how the removal of the wildlife, such as owls and bats, which are a protected species, was to be managed. Ms Goff's objections are familiar to those who neighbour the development that she now lives in.
Seems they're concerned that there might be wildlife issues, that the wildlife will no longer be there. It seems they're concerned that there might be infrastructure issues. It seems that they might be overlooked. It seems that there might be all kinds of things that seem very familiar to me from 6-7 years ago when we felt the same when Bakersfield development was being put in. I just feel that if you've just moved to a new area, surely you realise the land you were on may have been something similar to what you're complaining about now. It seems the Bakersfield residents are objecting to a new development being built beside their properties. Just seems a bit hypocritical.
I feel awful. I do feel awful, and I feel like I'm being a hypocrite about complaining about that. But of course, it's not the residents that we're moaning at, it's the council and it's the developers, because the developers have now changed the plans.
Are you cross?
Yes, fuming, absolutely fuming. But it just feels like we've asked questions to the council and they're not coming back with any answers.
A Medway Council spokesperson said all planning applications are carefully considered and take into account advice offered by professional officers, along with national and local planning policies and guidance for local authorities, which helps us shape development in Medway. Rainham News asked developer Redrow to respond to Ms Goff's points. In a statement, a spokesperson said, "At Redrow, we always strive to build carefully considered communities which are sensitive to the local environment. There is planning guidance on recommended minimum distances between properties to avoid people's homes being overlooked. Those distances have been met in our proposals and will be assessed by officers and taken into account in the report to the committee." Once on opposing sides of these issues in Rainham, newcomers now find they have much in common with the people who didn't welcome this development when it was approved, and together may be a force to be reckoned with on any new proposals. Medway Council's Planning Committee will consider the application, including public comments, at their meeting on December 14th. Sandy Fleming for Rainham News.